And speaking of Owen, guess what they get fed for breakfast?
Owen.
Not
Burger. Hamburger. Hamburger. You know, she says that she has to visit, I believe she says an orthodontist. I definitely not worried because I just remembered that she definitely says optometrist and not orthodontist.
Welcome to the Dock of Shame podcast. My name is Matt, and joined with me are...
My name is Chris, and last time I talked about
My name is Matt, and joined with me are...
Wait, that's not how this works.
I have not told a lie.
Yeah.
I guess.
And I'm Gabe. I have the bottom of the barrel sense of humor.
Oh. No, you don't.
Matt, I was literally just fucking dying at the...
That was impressive tongue work. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome to the Dr. Shame podcast.
Christ.
We talk about Total Drama Island. This episode's title is If You Can't Take the Heat. In our recap...
Oh, get out of the kitchen!
Oh, you get it now.
Bump.
Chris made fart jokes in the recap about Owen. Mentioned the fact that there was a weird and strangely watchable twist when regarding to the everyone shooting at each other. Okay, and then this is what he said, and I take issue with this statement in particular. Chris mentioned that the Gophers were the underdogs. So the Gophers are on a losing streak. They're on a 2-challenge losing streak. But they've either been ahead or tied with the Bass in terms of numbers the entire competition.
Well, listen. According to Las Vegas, they're betting underdogs. I think that's what Chris was referring to.
Okay. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
But saying that they're total underdogs, no, it does not. Okay. After the theme song, we get a CGI establishing shot of the camp.
What
they have
the
the budget
fuck?
a little bit.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like that's like, isn't that like the first time in a long time since they've done anything CGI outside of the fucking intro?
Yeah.
You know, it would have been nice to implement that a little bit more sometimes to establish scenes, but that's fine.
There's this thing called the budget.
I'm sure this show screams that.
No,
Yep.
yeah, it was like that was like it caught me so. It's used. The CGI is used one more time during the episode, but they're used for these like 3-second establishing shots. It's so strange. Oh my god, it boggles my mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was like one of the things that I was like, okay, I have to make like dedicated notes to this one because this is like fucking nuts.
It's right up your alley too, so I get it.
How much harder is that to do?
I guess it's not as hard. So the way that it looks like they did it, comparing the first one and the later one. Sorry, I sound like a fucking loser.
No,
fine.
The first one and the later one is that they made the entire island CG, not the actual like camping sites. Not the camping sites. I guess like what do they stay in, dorms? What would you call that?
Cabins.
Like their cabins. Thank you. I could not think of the word for the life of me. But it looks like the cabins themselves are completely 2-dimensional. and that a lot
Yeah.
of the trees and the assets are two-dimensional. I said ass. But that as they move around, it gives like this impression that it feels 3D.
Okay.
It happens here, and then it happens once more in the episode at like a random point. But I'll point that out when it happens because I wrote it down.
Listen, don't put yourself down ever when talking about this, because we like having an animator as part of our conversations. As I know that you're early on in your animation career, but you have more knowledge on all of this stuff than we do. So it's nice to be informed. Also, nice to use the word ass. Our Webby is definitely our Webby chances are definitely increased.
It's in the mail.
Yes.
Oh.
So, the Bass guys are waking up. Duncan, immediately after he gets out of the top bunk, just starts doing push-ups, still with his eyes closed. And then he smells Harold's gross underwear. The guys all confront him about it. He denies that they're his, even though he's the only one who wears that kind, and his mom sewed his name in it.
There's also okay, I'm sorry. But there's also a very weird inconsistency. Well, I noticed two things. One, that the actual show itself confirmed that, because you might have thought it was just like the art style itself on why Duncan is like 80% torso and like 10% legs, because it's made to look like, oh well, his shorts drag down, that's why he looks like that. And then now that we get to see Duncan without a shirt, it is horrifying.
He is all torso.
Yeah, it is scary looking. But on top of that, though, but there's also an animation inconsistency where when he jumps down and he does the push-ups, and he makes a comment about the underwear, he's in his, like, boxers, and then once he's, like, standing up with the other guys, he's in pants.
Huh.
I did not notice that.
It was funny. I actually just pulled it up right now, just to like look at the CGI again, and I just noticed it just now, which was wild. But yeah,
I mean, this show has, we could say that we all love this show, but we could also acknowledge that they did not run this by enough QA or however the TV equivalent of that is.
I also appreciate that Duncan sleeps with his choker on.
Yes.
Yeah, that checks out character-wise.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
So the guys decide that they're going to teach Harold a lesson
Yeah.
for leaving his underwear out and not owning up to it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, stinky.
Yeah, harassment. Whee!
So they cut to the beach. They're the challenge is to prepare Chris a 3-course meal.
This could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah. They reveal how food gets to the island in a delivery truck driven by a dolphin.
Holy shit. Can I tell you, like, having this being, like, the first time I've seen this episode, I was, like, I'm done trying to create internal logic for the show. It cuts to a fucking beach, and just the truck just rolls up backwards onto the beach, and then zooms in on the dolphin driving the truck. I can't.
Like, that's, like, I don't know, man. Like, I enjoy trying to trying to dissect this show a little bit, but you're right. Like, in this scene, it's just kind of like, welp, everything that we wanted to take seriously about the show is out the window. There's a fucking dolphin driving a food truck. It's all over now.
There's nothing you can be like, no, that's like a man in a dolphin costume.
No, you can't.
It is a dolphin.
Ocean.
Well, actually, this would be massive spoilers for, like, the rest of the series, so I will refrain. But I think I could give an explanation. I could legit try to, but I will refrain.
Okay. All right.
I could legit not at all.
So each team also for this challenge has to name a head chef who will kind of oversee everything, decide what they're cooking, etc., etc. Jeff looks at everything in the truck, suggests that they could do an Italian-related theme, which makes sense, and the team names him the head chef. Very democratic. They were like, "Hey, this dude has an idea. Let's give it to him." Whereas Heather is like, team captain called it, and then scolds Beth and calls everyone useless.
Character.
Yay!
Wee.
They head into the kitchen with their food, and they got to decide what they're gonna cook. So the Basts decide. Jeff trying to figure out everyone's strengths. DJ mentions, I know how to make pasta sauce, which is pretty cool. And Bridget says, I know how to boil pasta. Which, at first, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not that hard of a thing to do, but they're teenagers, and it's fine.
give them this. If anything else, just give them this.
Right. Well, it's also funny, because one of the things I've been binging in quarantine has been MasterChef. So I'm just like I was just thinking a lot about food challenges. I was like, I know how to boil pasta. I was like, why the fuck are you on a reality show? I was like, wait, this isn't a cooking show.
This is not MasterChef. Although
Yeah.
I'm sure at some point hopefully the creators think about making a cooking competition animation show, because that actually could be fun.
Yeah, I don't know how.
There's an anime about that.
Is there?
Oh, I'm sure.
Apparently, it's apparently pretty good.
Oh shit.
I forget the name of it. But oh god, it's called Food Wars, I think. But yeah, and then like the animated food just looks like very tasty, and then when people eat it, their animated expressions can be like huge.
I would imagine.
Naturally.
Isn't that the one where like they actually orgasm or something?
A little bit, yeah. It can be a bit risque, where like the dude who like eats the food, all of a sudden he's in like a whole new world and all his clothes are gone, and he's like, oh, it's delicious. But because it just goes over the top. I have not seen the show. I've just seen clips from it, and I know it was a bit popular a few years ago rather than now. But yeah, yes, you are thinking of the right show when you thought that.
Yeah, no, that's I now I feel like I have to see this show with the orgasmic with the cooking judge having an orgasm essentially with eating the food, because that just fascinates me.
Harold mentions that him and Sadie can rock the antipasto, and makes a joke that he's a black belt when it comes to cutting cheese.
I don't think it was necessarily a joke.
The writers made Harold say the joke.
Yes, yeah.
Harold did not mean it as a joke.
The writers,
To be completely honest, I forgot that was a joke.
That cutting cheese was a joke. It is like a very
Yes.
mid-2000s cartoon thing for farting.
Listen, man, this whole show, if it wasn't for the fart, it wouldn't be as successful as it is. The art of farting.
I'd also like to rewind. To be fair, the writers make Harold say everything he says.
Yeah.
Which
except for when they don't, which means you have to run.
the characters have become sentient.
Wait, I didn't write in a fart here. Run!
And it's just fucking like Owen popping off of the animation paper and like farting all the way towards like with knives heading towards the animation.
We're stopping this. That leaves Duncan and Courtney on the dessert. Courtney is really upset about working with Duncan. Duncan not so much. And we get a bunch of confessionals with Courtney in this episode, and a lot of them are fast forwarded. Because she's just been talking so much about how much she hates. Yeah, she's talking about Duncan and how much she hates him.
Oh wow, I didn't really catch that with the rewinding.
Yeah,
I actually like that touch, because you immediately get that like this is someone who's been on her mind, but you still get her like being a bit uppity. And
oh, absolutely
about it.
Yeah. As they're cooking, Jeff goes to the cabin to get Harold's underwear, and DJ spills water onto Harold's pants so that he has to go change. Harold's line here is "Smooth move, Dorcahontas." which
I forgot about that.
is so dumb.
It's so stupid.
That's probably one of the worst insults of the whole show.
It's right up there with Farticus.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Farticus and Darkahontas will be fall in love.
Gosh.
Heather is assigning roles to her team. She assigns a dessert. I forget exactly what it was. But it was a cake of some kind.
Yeah, the soup. It was like the souffle or whatever.
Yeah. Or the yeah. I don't think it was a souffle, but whatever it was. Flambe.
Flambe, yeah.
Orange flambe. Which Lindsay and Gwen said that they didn't know how to make. Owen trips on the oranges and has to go get more. Him and Trent are on ribs duty. And then she puts Lashana and Beth on the appetizer. Lashana has a great idea. She says, I want to do a pineapple chutney. And then Heather's like, no, we're doing pineapple skewers. Which is just pineapple with a stick through it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean,
there's
really not much else to say. I've already basically, like, I'm going to be silent for most of these podcasts now because Heather, I would just iterate everything that I've ever said about Heather.
Yep. Heather sucks. Lashana is queen.
Right.
We've established.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, Queen Slay.
Cut to Harold in his in the cabin, and he can only find a red Speedo.
Okay. I'm going to ask each of you. You are in Harold's situation. You are wearing soaking wet shorts. And the only shorts you have left is a red Speedo. What do?
I wear the wet shorts.
You wear the fucking wet shorts!
The water evaporates.
It's water! Okay, alright, first of all, if you, like, own a red... give me very, like, Diver Wimpy Kids vibes here. But, like, you don't hold on to the red Speedo. But I get that. That's Harold. But... And you know, of course, like, the internal logic needs to lead him to, like, be embarrassed. But you don't put on the Speedo.
Well, you put on the Speedo and then put the shorts on over. I mean, you need some extra cushion for the, down there.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. I thought they stole his underwear and that he was gonna have to wear the Speedo as his underwear, and then they were gonna, like, pants him. But no, he just shows up with his. He just
shows up with the Speedo.
Oh my god.
Like, there's times where you want to feel bad for Harold, especially during this episode. But man, these are some self-inflicted wounds here, my friend.
No, he brings it on himself.
Even like I know, like, you brought up, like, harassment, it's fun, but at the same time, like, you look at some of, like, Harold's, like, clothes that he leaves around the place. I think later they call it, like, they call his underwear crusty. And I'm like, yeah, Harold, you need to clean up after yourself.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Learn to wipe.
That too.
Yeah, early on they mentioned skid marked, which
I'm just so gross.
I'm just saying, like, there's proving a point, and then there's maybe going a little overboard. And I think that there was times where they went, like, a little overboard.
Yeah. We'll keep going. Owen is outside with the oranges running, trips, and gets attacked by bees.
He didn't have a net with him.
Nope.
I haven't played Animal Crossing. Was that funny?
Yeah, that's a funny.
Yeah, that's a funny.
Yes. I have mastered Animal Crossing humor.
That's 10 points on the board for Matt. What's the running total for jokes on this show, Cubs? I know you keep track of that.
10
jokes.
Wow, that cut
we make
deep.
Jokes.
That cut deep just now. Wow.
for both of us. 10 points. What's the total? 10. we make jokes.
Going back later, we see DJ and Bridget working on the pasta. and DJ mentions to Bridget that, hey, I think Jeff likes you, and then throws him in next to her.
Wait, you can't skip over the most crucial aspect of this whole fucking thing. He says, I think he has a thing for you, and then she says, and I quote, maybe. What part of a dude cutting an image of you and him and putting it into a heart, ripping DJ from it, and putting it on your fucking bed, does that not clue you in that maybe he has a thing for you?
I think she's trying to be humble, but at the same time, like, girl, run.
Yeah. Like, and like, literally, and me and Gabe were talking about this earlier. I don't know if you want to make the point, Gabe, but like, she was like, she not only did she acknowledge the fact that he seems like he has a crush on her, but like, she does not sound interested.
She was put off by it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then as soon as Jeff goes in, he mentions that Bridget cooks really well, like his friend Evan's really hot mom.
Jeff, yet again, he has such a way with words.
He's just a disappointment to humankind.
Truly a poet at heart. There is only one other short-term poem that really speak volumes later on in this episode that I will point out, but this one is definitely really just get in the mood, like, wow. you cook, you're hot when you cook dinner, like my friend Evan's hot mom.
Snaps from everyone.
Amazing. DJ saves him. DJ
is the fucking man!
Yeah.
DJ is doing everything he can.
DJ is like doing backflips while Jeff shits himself. Although at the same time too, I do love that he's literally like, he runs up to Bridget like, hey, he likes you. Do you like him? She's like, yeah, maybe. And then he's like, hey, Jeff, you should talk to her.
Owen returns to the kitchen, throwing the orange crate at Trent and concussing him.
Oh my god, Trent fucking died! Trent was like, maybe I'll have a line in an episode. And he was like, hey guys, and then just fucking dead! He was using barbecue sauce on the ribs, and he fell over, and like that shit hit him like a bullet, and I thought the barbecue sauce was fucking blood from the fucking incaved fucking skull that he now has.
Can we have an honest conversation about Trent? In the sense that, how, like, outside of Gwen, what purpose does he have on this show?
He has more. They just, I've noticed this in the past couple of episodes where they just take some characters out of the equation. Like Sadie hasn't done anything since the Fear episode.
Yes.
The Boney Island one, Harold had the thing where he threw the oars on the fire. He didn't talk though. He just threw the oars. I don't totally know what's up with that. Maybe they're just trying to focus on other characters, but
sure.
Trent literally like gets paired with Owen to go on the ribs. Owen comes in, concusses him, and then you don't see Trent for the rest of the episode.
I understand that for this particular episode that's the case, but I'm just talking on a global scale. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but honest to God, like in maybe the beginning, but in what role does Trent have on the show that doesn't in any way show as outside of like being Gwen's love interest?
He exists to be Gwen's love interest, and that's basically it.
Because other than that, he's just like a dude he's just non-problematic.
He's the sensitive guitar player.
Basically, like he has, and so like because they don't have anything going on right now with the Gwen Trent duo, they just fucking write off the show. Like at least Gwen has like a little bit of a personality where she says a line here and there right now. Dude, they can't make him interesting in any way, shape, or form, so they just fucking write him out of the episode by concussing him with an orange crate, which, by the way, like you said, I do not know how he died. How he did not die.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna ask this. I would guess he doesn't. But after oh my god, that voice crack. But after after season 1, is Trent really a character?
No.
Doesn't he become like obsessive or something?
He gets a weird OCD thing at the start of action, and then he's not in World Tour.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he just seems like he's kind of just there for people, for people to kind of gush over. Honestly, I think he serves his purpose, as even I think Chris recognized hey, he's a cute boy. I'll throw him in to cause a little bit of drama. But I think even Chris knew that there wasn't too much there.
Yep.
Yeah, it just does it. He definitely is. I just needed to have that conversation because it has been bothering me even if you said you have these characters that just get written off for one or two episodes, there's just something about Trent that's just he's just blah. He's just
yeah,
mush.
Mush.
Okay.
Not even good mush.
Duncan and Courtney are arguing about desserts, and Harold walks in said Speedo. They even make a point to have Chris come and tell them that they have 3 hours left so that he can comment about how offsetting Harold looks right now.
They really they really went out of their way to... Thank God they went out of their way to just define the butt cheeks in there, because I was very worried about if they're going to try to do anything else beyond that.
I don't think they would have got away with that.
Yeah.
Heather and Lashana then start bickering about the pineapple. She's over criticizing what Beth is doing on pineapple. And switches Lashana to it, even though Lashana mentions that she's allergic. Notices that that she's getting splotches. But earlier, Lashana mentioned that she knew how to make something with pineapple. So
no, it was something else.
I thought she mentioned pineapple. It was pineapple
it was
chutney.
Something chutney.
What I thought it was. Pineapple chutney.
So do you guys know what pineapple chutney is? Because I do not.
Let me look up.
It's time to educate ourselves about dishes.
Just looks like a nice side dish, appetizer.
But does it have pineapple?
Yes.
Well, maybe I know how to drink lava. Doesn't mean that I can.
Well,
Fair.
still,
I mean, you can once.
what okay, but then why does she say that she can make it if she's gonna get alert the blotches on her arms? That
Right.
is a weird inconsistency thing.
She couldn't have said pineapple then.
Maybe I'm missing something. Hey, future Matt.
I'm gonna look this up.
What did Lashana say?
Hey Matt, it's me,
I'm
future
looking this
Matt. I'm pretty sure she did say pineapple chutney. Although actually, now that I realize it, I'm not future Matt. I am present Matt.
You are present Matt. I'm future Matt. No, I'm present
All right,
Matt.
let's see.
Future Matt.
Whoa, is there a past Matt? Can we get a past Matt in here? Can we create the Christmas story here?
Matt, you are a present.
Aw, thanks. So are you.
Oh, thank you. and now all those Matts are now in the past.
Wow, that's
Okay.
really what the fuck? I had a word on top of my brain and now it's gone. Bye, guys.
Okay.
And then there was the chain ghost. Ooh, everyone forgets about him.
Jacob Marley?
Mango. It was mango.
Mango
Oh.
chutney. Okay.
Mango.
All right, that makes more sense.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you for checking in on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gabe.
So
All right,
you don't have to do any
all right,
work.
Gabe.
Future
All
Matt.
right, Gabe, edit that in.
Yeah, Gabe, yeah, please.
The Bass guys are still teasing Harold. They tell him, they say he's got to change, and Duncan mentions, look, there's a new underwear and shorts waiting for you on your bed. Which, Harold is an idiot for not thinking that something's up at this point.
Well, he does, but like, what is he gonna do about it? Like, beat him up over it? Like, he's kind of like in a tough spot where he's just like, all right, I guess I'll just listen to them at this point.
Yep. But he puts on his underwear, and it's covered in hot sauce.
He exclaims,
shouts out, "My biscuits are burning."
Yeah.
Oh.
My biscuits are burning.
What are biscuits?
His butt.
Oh, that's not at all what I was thinking about.
Oh, I thought it was the front that was getting
Matt,
sauce.
Sure, Matt. It's his butt. Don't.
Yeah, I'm.
Okay, that's what I was assuming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was the front that was getting sauced.
All I could think about was like, imagine if like Harold was of Harold had like the opposite sex genitalia. How like worse that would have been.
God, Matt, why are we talking about this?
No, no.
Well, it's
just like I don't know. It like just like burns down there.
Let's
or even
continue.
just like hot sauce. Okay, so right after he jumps into the water is another one of these 3D shots. This was actually the first one that I noticed, and then I saw reference of the CGI in the beginning, and I realized that they did it then too. But yeah, they just for 3 seconds like slightly shift angles from the pier to one of the cabins, and it's really weird because they've had establishing shots before, and they could have just kept. Oh my, yeah, my voice is shot from just fucking screaming and podcasting, which is terrible. But they've done establishing shots. And now they've been doing these 3D CGI shots. I'm curious if they keep it up.
They probably do in some capacity. Can I be honest? I really want to go back to the hot sauce thing real quick. I need to talk about this real quick. Or just ask the room real quick. I thought that hot sauce tastes hot, but I didn't know it felt hot. Is that actually a thing?
Capsaicin. Capsaicin is a chemical that actually it makes you feel like your mouth is burning, or whatever makes contact is burning.
So yeah, on sensitive points of the body, like the tongue, or let's say if you had like
That's why when
very fresh sensitive skin. Yeah.
When you cut jalapenos, you're not supposed to wipe your eyes.
Or if you had like cuts on your fingers and you were to cut jalapenos, it would burn.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. I'm like new to all the hot stuff, so I just I genuinely need to know that because I was kind of bizarre. I was like, wouldn't it just taste hot? Like, why is it burning? Like, I don't understand.
And as we know, Harold has advocated for CBT in the past.
No.
So you
what?
really
What?
know
No,
that
Matt.
You know he's really in a lot.
Matt.
What does this mean?
Matt.
We're
done.
I don't know what CBT is.
Chris,
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a little pure here.
do I need to bring up the meme?
I'll do my own research. Let's just keep going.
All right. Where were we? We cut back to the kitchen, and Lindsay's talking to Heather, and she's like, "Yeah, I used all the flambe mix, but it won't catch fire." Only to find out that Lindsay never actually used matches or lit fire to it. She just poured the fucking gasoline on it. It's obviously not gasoline. So Heather in confessional says it's like talking to an eggplant, which I just thought was a funny line.
No, it is. Wait, here's my question. So Gwen is also on dessert. Do you think Gwen is just done at this point and just doesn't want to do it? Because she's smart enough to know you have to light it.
She might have had to move to ribs. Yeah.
Well, no,
Since Trent was
Gwen was
concussed.
standing there though when they lit it though.
Oh yeah.
Oh well.
I don't know. They had to make Lindsay look stupid.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Heather lights the cake on fire, and it just bursts into ash because of all the fucking flambe on it. So she decides to send Owen to go get her makeup bag
Oh my god.
because she's so controlling. Harold comes back to the kitchen. He is in jammies and says to the guys, "If you sickos want to see me butt naked, hit me with your best shot." And they're all just like, "Dude, we'll stop once you admit it." And that
line felt like
time.
That line felt like he wanted to be butt naked. It was a very like a one-note line.
I mean, if you really need me to, I guess I will do it, but he's just very into the idea that he just doesn't want to admit it.
Jeff offers sandwiches. Harold takes a bite in one, swallows a piece of it, and it's his underwear. They fed him his underwear.
I'd like to point out he didn't just like make one sandwich. He
And
made an entire batch of sandwiches. So like
Yeah,
he could have just made Harold one, but he really had to play into the bit and make like 8.
of course. As Owen is trying to sneak back to get Heather's makeup, he's still scared about the bees, and there's a hive on the cabin. The rake goes through his foot when he steps on
The rake
it.
goes through his foot.
The rake goes through his foot,
Holy shit!
It's absurd.
Yes, sir.
and then he
That
falls
was-
over, and the hive falls on him.
I know something first happens to him. I think he like hits into something, but the rake goes through his fucking foot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that part made me like cringe like nothing.
Also,
that's like
How
that's like in Home Alone when he steps on the nail. Oh my god.
I don't know. I think a rake is a little bit worse than a nail.
Yeah.
But how bad is your shoes to have an entire rake not only rip through, to have it go through the shoe from the bottom to the top, and then also go through your fucking skin and bones as well. Like how bad?
I don't think it went through the top, but it looked like it like went really deep.
No,
You
it
can
came through
get
the
an
top.
infection
Oh
very
my
easily
God.
by stepping on a rake.
I'm sure. I just like. I feel like the shoes would have at least protected him from having it impaled through his foot.
Oh my god, that part really sent me. I was in
Yeah.
like such distress. It really upset me. Oh my god.
And he walks normal the rest of the episode, which is even a bigger like, all right, well,
Yep. Cartoon logic.
yeah.
All right. He returns with the bag covered in bee stings, and he
he-
throws the bag. Someone gets a hold of it, but LaShawn, Beth, and Lindsay end up
Wait,
throwing
wait,
the makeup
wait.
bag in.
Wait, yeah, hold on.
The-
Here was the next great poem of the episode, the True Godsend, written by Owen. Herbal Gerbil Fistback.
That's what I was trying to get in there.
I forgot to write that down.
That was almost the podcast intro. For me, purple. I actually wrote down my interpretation was for purple gerbil fish bag, as in the makeup bag. But back. I like back a lot more. I think.
I have no idea what he said.
beautiful.
But yeah, he was just like Herbal Gerbil Fistback. He just dies.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, they throw Heather's makeup bag into the freezer. Heather follows it, and they just lock her in the freezer.
This is all deserved.
This is all deserved. This is all.
It's painfully deserved.
It had to happen.
God, I wish someone would murder Heather.
Listen. I'll do it.
Duncan and Courtney start filling cannolis. Courtney's saying how much of the mess that he's making. Duncan squirts some stuff at her, kind of flirtily. in Confessions.
Oh no, I just
Duncan-
noticed that.
Yeah. Duncan, going on. Duncan says, "That girl creases me. I dig that in a chick." Courtney, good.
That also really, really like got under my skin. Man, that girl I wrote that down. Man, that girl creases me, and I was like, I've never heard that. Maybe it's a Canadian.
Maybe it's a Canadian
phrase, but oh my god, that really got me.
What if? Listen, we are 4 Americans here, right? What? Right? As if we don't know, but like.
Yes, we are all human.
We definitely, yeah. Do you think that, like, all the things that we've shat on the show for, like, is actually just, like, a normal thing in Canada? Like, they just
Canadian
all fart
slang.
all the time up there? Like,
I don't think that's the takeaway.
like that's the truth to it all, and that's why it's just, like, it's not even comedy at this point. It's like, oh, yeah, he had his, like, daily 24th fart. You know, that's fine. That makes sense. Because we as Canadians,
they're all 2-dimensional.
Yeah, everyone up in Connecticut has 2-dimensional.
Most of them are 80% torso.
Yes, yeah. Like I feel like this is all like I feel like we were criticizing it, even though this is from a different country. We may not know better.
Courtney is once again taking too long in her confessional, and you hear Lashana knock on the door and asking her like if she's done, can we get on with it so that she can vent too. But the best part is everything Courtney is saying is like as if not going to happen, and different variations of that.
I just want to point out, because I actually forgot to earlier. She did say that I'm like the easiest going person I know.
Yes.
Which really like rattled my spine, I think.
Oh.
I just wanted to point that out. That she thinks that she's the easiest going person that I know. I'm really scared to know who else she knows.
Ooh. In the dining room, I guess, Jeff and Beth are both setting up. There's a different level of formality. Beth decides, "Oh, your dinner will be ready any minute, or we'll be out shortly." And Jeff's like, "Yeah, I'll be ready soon, dude." And then kind of adjusts
sir.
himself.
Sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They decide that they're gonna make Owen guard the food.
I wrote that down too.
The
that
Gophers.
was an immediate red flag.
It's like, what are you doing? Owen
how far we've come.
Yeah. The Owen is analyzing the ribs. Eats one in the end. Talks about how amazing they are. And then decides the other side looks off.
It also quickly cuts to Heather now drawing on her eyebrows.
Yes.
Can I say something about Owen? For years, and this kind of goes back to something I brought up in the last episode and I wanted to bring to this episode. I had a revelation about Owen. He's now among, like, my least favorite characters. From being, like, my favorite character. And this is just from watching the first 9 episodes, and I think it is the fact that the dude has one mode most of the time, and, like, for the life of me, I cannot decide why, like, I cannot figure out why they decided that Owen was just completely, like, well, this is a little spoilery, but, like, why he did not get eliminated this episode. How could you have eaten the entire rack of ribs and then not get eliminated? I understand that there's bigger fish to fry, and again, Heather's on your team. I would love Heather to go. But I am just I'm so frustrated with his character at this point.
It seemed weird that he wasn't considered voting out worthy.
No, he was considered.
Yeah. Okay.
But there were quite a few people who, like, there were a few, like, it wasn't like it was between 1 or 2 people. There were a few different people that were definitely
just messed things up.
Yeah.
But like you ate the entire dish. You ate
Yeah.
you ate like the main dish. Like this is like supposed to be like the big thing, and if that whole rack of rib was there, who knows if they would have won or not? I'm just saying, like it's just Owen's character to me is just like he's just a nuisance, and it's just getting under my skin. So now I am no longer the Owen stan that I used to be, even though I've always related to Owen maybe the most out of everyone.
Yeah, Owen's going downhill. I think we're gonna have
Yeah.
to see where he goes from here.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
like you, I think you can also see though, like Heather was still on the chopping block much later on, as well as another character that we'll get to.
Yeah.
And for good reasons. And while you could say that Owen cost them the main entree, it even goes like higher than that on that person has been bossy and like rude for the past few, and possibly it's maybe even that person's fault where we've been on a losing streak.
Sure.
Matt, you can just say it's Cody.
Yeah, Cody's to blame for all of this, truly.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry, it was Noah.
Noah started this whole downward spiral, truly.
Yep. They got a lot less attractive since Justin left, and that's the reason.
Oh, well, that's true too.
Okay. So Chris eats the bass antipasto, and he really likes the pasta that DJ and Bridget made. Gives it a 15 out of 10.
Is this allowed?
I don't know.
He's the boss.
That does go into the score for it later though. Like the Bass's score before the dessert is 15. So a little bit weird writing thing there, but it's fine. Lashana enters the kitchen to go get their food, and Owen is on the floor covered in sauce. And she reams him.
This is like this is the second episode in the row, and probably even beyond, even probably before, and definitely will be after. Like, why? How is Owen this messy of an eater?
It was like it was a crime scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
No, but that was a great bit.
I think that
of
was the
just
joke,
them
though.
coming in.
It was.
Oh yeah.
It was the bit, but at the same time, it's just like, God damn, Owen, clean up after yourself, man.
He looked like he just went on a murdering spree and he couldn't control himself, which was that was funny.
It was.
Like I like Owen here where he's more food. So Chris, I would argue against the idea that while I think Owen has gone downhill a little bit, I would argue that that's been more maybe with like misogyny and just his kind of maybe lack of caring. While he is like the butt of most of the jokes, and his like one joke is literally just farting. I really like the fact that he couldn't control himself around the food, and we get this kind of hilarious scene of him kind of like.
Oh,
Like, I just murdered somebody. I'm out of control.
Oh no! I'm of course it's hilarious. Like I'm not. I'm just saying. I think from I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this from like a reality show aspect of things, and I would at this point I am frustrated with Owen the contestant. But as a character, like he's fine. I still like him. It's just
Oh yeah.
as a contestant, I'm really annoyed with how he goes about things.
God, yeah. I'm still thinking about his fucking foot.
Yeah, no. Poor guy.
Are you okay, Matt?
I just that always like bothered me so much. Well, I guess sorry, I'm thinking back to Home Alone, how it always bothered me, but that bothered me. Dude, just like anything going through the feet is just so
that's rough.
bad.
It's rough.
Sorry. All right, we can move past it.
Yeah.
Okay. They bring the ribs out, and Owen's like, well, there's one little chunk of meat right there on the bone. Chris eats it, and is like, you know what? Not bad. Gives him 2 points for it. So the Bass...
Okay, so I feel like that would have just been like the end situation, even if Owen hadn't eaten the ribs.
I don't know if they would have gotten 2 points though. Like if it tasted fine as is, like, and it was the full track, like he might have enjoyed it a lot more. That's all I'm saying.
I took that as like it was a piece that Owen skipped over, You know, it's not like he like went back like that's a good piece of the ribs. It was probably like a fatty piece that he wouldn't immediately want to eat.
So the Bass lead 15-11 after the first two courses, which means if the Gophers got 2 points on the entree, that means that they got 9 points on pineapple on metal sticks.
Genius.
It's pineapple, Matt. Pineapple's good.
It's true.
But they just cut pineapple and that's all.
They cut it precisely.
LaShawn,
Okay.
listen, you don't question LaShawn's cutting
did it well.
skills.
It's true. Mm-hmm. Next comes the desserts. They got 6 points. Only 6 points on the cannoli, which means that the Gophers would need all 10 of their points just to tie. Chris pokes the cake. It crumbles to ash, and then eats a piece of it and almost chokes to death.
Okay, so here, why eat it?
He's
He
gotta
still
have
has
something.
to taste it.
Gotta have something to judge.
You know what? That would have been me. I would have been like, all right, well, this is my food.
Yeah, I mean, I guess respect, but like, my God, for like, he's just inflicting pain on himself. Which I guess at this point, if we know anything about Chris McClain, he just likes pain.
Yeah. They then realize that Heather's still in the fridge. They take her out, and she's entirely blue and has thick, messy eyebrows.
Okay, this might sound really dumb, but the second I saw her with these huge, stupid-looking eyebrows, my immediate reaction was just me. And I was like, I have big, stupid eyebrows.
No.
Beth,
me.
Heather asks why the thing is on the table, and Beth reveals that she got it from Boney Island. And this is where Chris is like, "You mean Boney Island? That thing where I said to not take anything from, lest you be cursed forever?" When I was
Boney
younger,
Island, the lore and the exposition.
When I was younger, I took that as Chris had no idea that Beth took that. But at the start of the previous episode, Chris mentioned in the narration that Beth had something.
Oh shit, you're right.
So he was absolutely just playing this up for laughs and for the camera.
Well, I think he was just trying to. I think he also was trying to remind people about I remind like the contestants about what he said that day, and
True.
I don't know, man. I think that Beth has a potential to like I don't know, like to challenge like how this episode goes, because like the fact of the matter is, like, he might have had a hand. In fact, I think he had a heavy hand in what the results and how everything happened.
I'm sure.
This episode, and that's a little bit that's a like getting like basically like pushing the results, you know, or whatever. I don't know how you would describe that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah,
rigging
like
it almost.
Rigging it, yeah. He kind of rigged the results a little bit there, which I mean, you know, he's unethical, but it's worth pointing out.
Yep. So the Bass win, and this is the first time ever in the competition that the Bass will be ahead of the Gophers in numbers.
It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah. Duncan hugs Courtney. They're really excited, and Courtney's like, "Put me down. Put me down." We get shots of the Gophers talking about who should go. Heather is still really trying to manipulate Lindsay, and she's like, "Well, since you got me out, I'll give you one more chance."
Correct me if I'm wrong. Her eyebrows look fine in this scene.
Probably. They
You mean
probably
Heather?
were like,
you mean
let's
Heather, right?
let's just keep going. Let's go back to the regular model.
Yeah, yeah, like for a second, and then it cuts to confessional, and she has the drawn-on eyebrows again, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's perfectly normal when she talks to Lindsay, and then she has them drawn on again.
Oops.
Oopsies.
They give some confessionals on who they're going to vote for. Heather's very pissed. At the campfire ceremony, we get Lashana, Owen, Gwen, Trent, and Lindsay. And I noticed when taking notes with this one in particular, there are a lot of characters with a W in their name. Lashana, Owen, and Gwen specifically, and my fingers were getting tied when I was doing this.
Wow. Did you get him out or not?
You got something against names with W's, pal?
No.
Your name has a W.
It does.
Oh, no.
Wait, what?
My full first name has a W in it.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot. You have a full name.
It's just like you have now the W hater has now become the WE.
Huh. So it's between Heather and Beth, and of course Beth gets booted. Chris suggests you might want to burn some sage to get rid of the remaining curse stuff. And LaShawna's like, cool, will Chef give us some? And Chris says, nope, good luck with that.
Heather talks some smack to Beth, and I just wish that Beth, knowing that she's out of the competition, just punched Heather right square in the face.
That would be
You know
amazing.
what, actually, Chris, I actually want to go off of that. I actually have written in my notes, hold on, it happened, I wrote this down a little earlier in the episode because I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, but let me check my notes here. It says, Beth's character development went in the trash.
Yeah.
As it was like, Beth is gonna talk back to Heather. We're gonna have a whole thing, and then I feel like the writers' room, because I just now remember what happens later on anyway, where someone does where someone actually really does talk back to Heather, but Beth, it looks like Beth's gonna really stand up to Heather, and while she doesn't 100% in the last episode, where she's still a bit meek, all of that is just gone in this episode. Mm-hmm. While Beth isn't like, clamoring to help Heather over everything, she's still like, Heather's a bitch. Mm-hmm. It's not like anything from the last episode has really affected the relationship. And yeah.
Well, outside the fact that Heather hates
what
her.
I was like, yeah, other than that, Beth just pretends like their whole relationship didn't happen, which, didn't really change Beth at all. So that wasn't very satisfying.
It was
like she was on the cusp of about to be a better, more independent character, and then she was like, nah.
Well, you know what it was, and because to me, the way I interpret it is that they don't want to give Heather the opportunity to change as writers. The writers don't want her to change because I feel like Heather has been had ants poured onto her bed and been thrown into the freezer and has been paintballed, and she still doesn't get it, and I just wish that someone would sucker punch her, and maybe that probably still wouldn't have changed her, but at the end of the day, it's just I think that this show wants her to remain a villain so much that they can't keep on taking swings at her, and her one punishment for the episode was her being in the freezer. They couldn't punish her anymore, and it's just
I know. I'm less complaining about I don't care. I think Heather should stay the same. I'm saying more Beth hadn't changed at all.
No,
from
I know
the entire last episode.
I know. I think that Beth is it's just one of those situations where they could have really made her have a stand on it, and it just seemed like it was going that way, and it just fell completely flat, and it was really, like you said, really disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, in retrospect, they might be saving it for another character to stand up to Heather.
Sure.
But it really doesn't help Beth.
Yeah.
Beth is another character who gets better moments in later seasons.
Yeah.
Last scene after the campfire ceremony, in the middle of the night, the Bass guys take Harold's bed, and by extension Duncan's, because Duncan sleeps on top, to the dock, where Harold then wakes up naked in front of the girls.
First of all, why would you sleep naked in the company of other people?
No clothes.
Yeah, he doesn't really.
But he has clothes.
That's I don't know. Maybe
he has pajamas.
That's true.
Okay, but also we've established from the beginning of the episode, now that I'm thinking about it, Harold does sleep in clothes.
Yeah, so maybe they took them off. Of
I
him.
think that's
So while Harold was sleeping, they very carefully took off all of his clothes.
That's the only explanation.
That's to me. That's what happened, and this is where I personally felt that they went a little too far. To like I get it. You want to prove a point. He's an idiot. Like he's an idiot, and he leaves his fucking crusty underwear everywhere. It's fucking gross, and you want to like shove it in his mind and be like, admit to it and stop fucking doing it. I get it. I totally do. But when like to go to the distance that they did to prove that point, to put him in the fucking water. Or to at least put him on display for the girls in the water to see him. Like it was so extreme.
To be fair, he didn't have to get out of bed.
Right? Yeah.
To be fair, he had a blanket he could have wrapped himself with.
He did.
To be fair, he could have just admitted earlier.
To be fair, if he hadn't used his pajamas during the challenge, and if he had any clean underwear instead of leaving it all over the cabin, and any clean shorts that weren't stolen, then maybe he wouldn't have slept in the nude.
I mean, like legit. Like I understand he could have admitted it earlier. Again, he is absolutely, a lot of this is self-inflicted, and I completely understand that. I just I feel like there is lines to cross and to completely humiliate him in front of everyone. I get it worked. But it's just I don't personally support that.
Harold finally confesses that he left things out. They throw him his clothes, and he runs away. And that's the episode. Any final thoughts before ratings?
That was a very slick transition, Matt.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to say in particular. I think I think it's just, you know, I think it was a fine episode overall. You know, the character development and all, you know, for at least for some aspects of it.
I'll start with mine. This is my favorite episode of the series, at least from memory. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I think the challenge is cool. I think all the different ways the characters work. Heather is at her Heatherist in this. The side plot with the guys in Harold is, though a little cruel, pretty funny. And I just overall it just feels like a really good total drama episode. And I always think on it fondly, so I'm giving it a 10.
Can I go next?
Sure.
Coming at this episode, like, having not seen it before, which was very interesting, was actually, when it's a good episode, it's really fun. Like, I actually do agree with you. I think this is probably the best episode of the season so far, and I think that it stands on its own. You get to follow the main plot through it, and while I would argue that, like, in my opinion, it always feels like Gwen, because even though, like, Owen's more maybe of, like, a one-note character, Gwen feels more like the kind of protagonist of the series, and while her and Trent take a little bit more of, like, a backseat role, you get a lot more group dynamic of trying to beat the challenge rather than it being, say, much more head-to-head when it comes down to later parts where it's maybe only a very few contestants left. And I think that those work really well here, and they bounce off each other really well.
Totally.
Just because I maybe don't remember the future episodes as well, but I really liked this episode, I'm actually going to give it a 9.
All right. Gabe?
I'll give it an 8. This is also one of my more favorite episodes of what we watched so far. I don't really remember what's past this, so I'll just keep it as an 8 for now.
Chris?
I agree with you guys. I think I'll keep it at an 8 as well. I think that it did a lot in terms of like showing a lot of the characters. I mean, obviously you have like the Trents and the Sadies of the world, but it definitely had, and of course Gwen, like you said, kind of took a backseat to it, but it definitely felt like it was an episode to really show a lot of peak moments for a lot of these characters.
The Duncan and Corny stuff as well.
Yeah, right. Like I really felt like all of it really best represented all the characters in some way. And so and the challenge was interesting. It was a unique take. I think that where I would say about the challenge, as much as it was fun, I don't know. I guess like the whole it felt like I lost the island aspect of it, a little bit. Like yeah. It was very much like like any other season of the show could have had the same challenge in it. So I like when they are out in the environment and doing things a lot. So I think that's where I would just duck the challenge a little bit.
Cool. This was our average-wise highest rated episode yet. And individually, all of our highest scores that were given, except for Gabe, because Gabe gave the sleeping episode a 10.
It's
Why
really
did
funny.
I do that again?
You just decided that you wanted to.
It's really funny looking at everybody else's scores, because I'm looking at it now, and it's like 5, 5, 4, 10.
Right.
It just might have been in the moment. Just been like, you know what? Yeah. Really enjoyed the episode, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. Okay, let's hear that Total Dramarama.
Hold on. You caught me with my pants down. Give me a second. Let me
Well,
listen,
maybe you should leave your pants lying around.
Yeah, maybe you should leave your crusty underwear lying all over the place.
Maybe you shouldn't be recording podcasts without pants on.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm wearing pants. I'm not wearing a shirt. Now, okay, but when they said like crusty underwear, there were parts of this episode that made my skin crawl.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this episode, I didn't know which episode. I just didn't have the page open. This is season 1, episode 44. This one comes in from Miles Smith. Thank you, Miles. Mm-hmm. This one is titled. I'm gonna keep doing that. This one is titled "Stop Hamster Time."
No, no, no.
Oh,
absolutely not. I will not allow this.
All right. It has nothing to do with hammers. If that makes you feel better.
I imagine it because it's hamster time.
Yes, it has to do with hamsters. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright. Owen takes over the job of caring for the class hamster and learns that he's evil.
Jesus Christ.
That's it.
Is this really what we're going
Like,
with
there's nothing
now?
else.
Like, is this modern entertainment?
I really do love it's just stop. Hamster time.
And the hamster is evil,
Matt,
and
don't cut that
that's
out.
the premise of the episode.
Owen takes over the job of caring for the class hamster and learns that he's evil? What?
Okay, wait a second. Hold on, though. I'm not happy about this episode description for the fact that who's the he in this situation? Does he find out through the hamster's eyes that Owen, is evil? Like, maybe we're just reading it wrong.
He learns that he actually enjoys torturing the hamster, and he learns that himself, Owen, is evil.
Mm-hmm. We may never know.
Let's hope we never come across this episode and never watch it. Wow.
Hey, Chris, what time is it?
It is 10:50. Oh,
it's hamster time!
It's hamster time! Stop! It's hamster time!
I don't know why I did not connect the two dots there. You know what? Because I was focused so much on the fact that the hamster or Owen is evil.
So we continued the trend of the name of the episode is just a reference to literally anything they can think of.
But the episode is not a parody of said thing.
Yes. And it's
What
not
was the
even done
fucking
like
Clockwork Orange one?
that was a Clockwork Orange, and I think it had to do with the chicken. Let me see.
The chicken was evil.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, the chicken. Okay, yeah, he doesn't know that the chicken is an evil psychopath, and the kids have to warn him about it.
Wait a second. So now they're
Meanwhile,
recycling
Cody slowly
storylines.
becomes a werewolf after sucking his thumb and petting a wolverine.
Wait a second. So they're recycling storylines about animals being evil.
Yeah, but in this one, Cody doesn't become a werewolf.
Oh, okay. I see how this is different. Okay, cool. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, doofus. Gotta. It's in the detail.
Also, in this one,
between the
Owen knows
lines.
the hamster is evil. Judd doesn't know the chicken is evil.
Judd.
I can't believe they put Judd in there. Like, they literally...
Judd,
They,
guys,
they
his name
needed
is
someone for
Jude.
Chris Potenza to voice.
Guys, his name is Jude. Stop saying Judd.
Oh Jesus, I haven't seen 16.
Yeah, well, oh, okay. I was like,
My bad.
I just carried off of
You
that.
know what? You know what? You guys should watch 16. 16 is actually a really good show.
Okay. I feel like I will need to cleanse my body of anything Total Drama Rama at this point. I hate that they got a season 2 because then they could have fucking worked on another decent Total Drama show.
Yeah. Honestly, like, if they made things that were the Redonkulous race level quality, I'd be totally okay with that. That is
Right.
a decent show. It's entertaining. It's pretty good.
Just take off of that. Like, do other
Yeah.
reality shows. Do like we said, like the fucking Masterchef. Do Big Brother if you want to make fun of that. Like, you could do so much of shit. Like it's just
Guys-
ridiculous.
Guys, I'm looking at season 2, and the names of the titles of the episodes get even worse.
Yes.
Some of them are literally references to nothing, while others are just literally references to like an object or an animal.
It's amazing.
Some of them is literally just fucking nothing.
Canada, please, for the love of God, please, can we boycott this show? Canada and the U.S., whichever one the ratings are higher on. Like, please, just let's end this pain.
Ooh, episode 16 of season 2 is a half-hour-long special.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
We'll
This
see-
has
we'll
been
see what that is.
This has been the Doc of Shame podcast. Stop writing stories about animals being evil. See y'all next time.
But make it baby and make it evil.
The Doc of Shame podcast is brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Find us on Twitter @Doc of Shame and find more of our work at Team Chaos Pods.